If you own a Ford EcoBoost truck and you're wondering what Xodus can do for you, then this is your video. I'm going to cover how we do tuning in the Xodus way. We're talking Stage 1, Stage 2, and our Core Pro and Future Apex tuning suites, the hardware required, and most importantly, how it feels to build and drive your new dream truck. I'm talking about our most popular platforms, F-150, Gen 2 Raptor, and Gen 3 Raptor. If you want the full picture though, I recommend watching the whole thing because there's going to be some really good stuff in here. Starting with the F-150, that's both the 2.7 liter and 3.5 liter EcoBoost. This is an incredibly popular and capable truck, and making it better all starts with Stage 1. No matter what truck you drive, all Xodus tunes install with our easy plug-in tool and your phone. No hardware upgrades are required for Stage 1, and it can be installed on a completely stock F-150. Stage 1 safely recalibrates the factory engine and transmission computers in one package. Depending on your model year, you may need to flash your transmission and engine separately, but they are both included in the same purchase and designed to work together. You're not having to buy two separate tunes ever. And the difference is immediate. The first thing you're going to notice is a razor sharp throttle response. Your truck is going to wake up, it's going to feel sharper, more connected, and honestly, for most F-150 owners, the biggest change is the transmission. The stock 10-speed programming can just feel clunky, it gear hunts a lot, and the factory logic is constantly trying to find just the most fuel-efficient gear, which ends up just feeling annoying. Stage 1 entirely cleans that up. Shifts are faster, cleaner, more precise, and it feels smart. It feels like the transmission finally knows what it's doing, it's confident and not guessing. We also built an adaptive fuel management into your tune. That means our tune automatically adjusts based on the octane of whatever you fuel up with and put in the tank, from 87 all the way to 93. You'll get more power and torque out of premium fuel, but you don't have to run it if you don't want to. You can fill it with 87 around town, and it's going to safely adapt and run perfect. That's the real convenience thing for daily drivers. Every Stage 1 tune also includes our auto tow feature. This is custom programming that does require a separate flash. However, auto tow monitors your exhaust gas temperatures while you're towing and allows it to manage power delivery to protect your catalytic converters and drivetrain from overheating under the increased load. This is a protection feature as much as it is a performance feature. And one more thing about the F-150, Stage 1 is your full tune and requires no hardware. However, our FDS intercooler does fit the F-350 3.5 liter EcoBoost, and it's a must-have if you always want to get the most out of your tune. I'll cover more about the intercooler, intake, and some other hardware later on in the video. The Gen 3 Ford EcoBoost Raptor is one of the most capable modern performance trucks to ever wear the Ford badge. And from the factory, this truck already feels refined, quick, and confident. But once tuned, the new Raptor becomes an absolutely entirely different beast. And the transformation all begins with Stage 1. With your Gen 3 Raptor, the engine and transmission are in one integrated unit. This is great news for tuning because we can flash both of them together straight from your phone. In one flash, your entire drivetrain will be upgraded. And with Xodus, they have been fully calibrated as one complete package to work together. And what does that feel like? Throttle response becomes instant. Boost builds aggressively. Acceleration feels relentless, and the higher torque and power is delivered with shocking consistency. The entire truck just feels sharper, aggressive, and dramatically faster, but also maintains the refinement and composure modern Ford trucks are known for. The transformation is also a huge upgrade on the transmission. We're talking firmer shifts across the board. The truck holds RPMs longer before shifting, which means you're holding more torque before the shift actually happens, and you stay in boost longer. This is especially a big deal in sport mode, where the whole truck comes alive. It's more responsive, punchier, way more immediate, like the truck is actually paying attention. We also added a gear display that you'll now see whatever gear you're in right on the dash, no matter what drive mode you're in. And that sounds like a simple thing, and it is, which makes it even more annoying that Ford didn't give it to you to begin with. Because if you've ever been ripping in the sand, doing donuts, driving Baja style, letting the rear end go loose, or just trying to get traction in the snow, being able to glance at your dash and immediately know that your gear and RPM is genuinely useful. Never underestimate the ability to make a split-second decision to paddle shift up or down to gain traction or manage temps while towing. Speaking of towing, same deal. A quick look at the dash tells you if you should shift up for more torque or shift down for better fuel economy or to lower those engine temps. And lastly, the tune also includes adaptive octane management from 87 to 93 octane. The truck will automatically adjust to whatever you put in. Run 87 around town, run 93 when you want maximum performance, and the tune handles the rest. Just fill and drive. You never have to think about it. Now here's something specific to the Gen 3 tune that we are proud of. We preserve the OEM tow haul mode. That's impressive because on this newer platform, most other tuners are forced to kill it. That means when you flash an aftermarket tune, the tow haul button no longer works. That means flashing back to stock every time you want to tow, and that's definitely a time you would want the additional powers when you're towing. So with our tune, you press the tow haul button and it works exactly like stock. No reflashing. Go ahead and use your Raptor to pull toys, trailers, whatever. We didn't want that to be a hassle or a risk, so we made sure it wasn't. A tune should make sure your truck does everything better, not take things away. What you get with the Xodus Stage 1 tune is a substantial, well-rounded upgrade that makes this performance truck perform at an even higher level across everything you do with it. Now let's talk about the Gen 2 Raptor. For this truck, we have two options. Stage 1 for stock hardware, and then there's Stage 2 if you want to upgrade even further by upgrading the intercooler and intake. Both Stage 1 and Stage 2 retune the engine and transmission together. This is a complete calibration that transforms the entire drivetrain. With Stage 1, you'll notice sharper throttle response, optimized shift behavior, better transmission logic, more power and torque in the mid-range where you're actually driving, and a bigger kick in the pants everywhere else. Stage 1 delivers one of the biggest performance per dollar upgrades you can make to your truck. Stage 2 is where we kick things up another notch. Stage 2 is designed to safely maximize the factory engine and turbochargers with supporting airflow and cooling upgrades. Acceleration becomes addictive. Passing power arrives instantly, and the truck pulls hard without sacrificing any daily comfort. To run Stage 2, you're gonna need an Xodus intake and FDS intercooler. Because at these power levels, the stock intercooler just cannot keep up. And our intake is required to deliver the larger air demands that Stage 2 requires from the turbochargers. These upgrades have to be installed to perform correctly and safely at this stage. I'll cover both of those upgrades and more in the hardware section of this video. Xodus doesn't just retune factory maps. We have an advanced tuning facility with a full team of calibrators and software engineers. This means we also push the envelope of tuning by writing our own custom code that allows us to include additional and powerful features. For Gen 2 Raptor, this includes our optional TrueFlex and Auto Tow programming. Do you have ethanol at your local pump? And do you want the most power possible? Then adding our IE TrueFlex sensor kit, along with flashing the tune, will unlock full flex fuel capability. This means your truck can safely run anything from 91, 93 octane, all the way up to full 85 or anything in between. The tune automatically adjusts itself in real time based on the exact ethanol content that's in your tank. You just fill it up and drive. No reflashing, no map switching, no guessing. And what about towing? If you're a Raptor owner, you already know it leans harder into that race truck than it does into a tow pig. But if you plan on towing, our Auto Tow continuously monitors your exhaust gas temperatures while also managing all of your power output while you're towing. This means it can pull back power if it needs to keep your catalytic converters and your drivetrain safe as things get hot. These EcoBoosts are known for issues with heat buildup under sustained and heavy towing, and Auto Tune is our answer to that. It's a safety net that keeps you towing happy and moving down the road. So now that we have covered tuning stages, let's talk about Xodus tuning suites. We have spent years pushing technology forward with all sorts of tuning features, such as our PowerLink Mobile that allows you to flash our tunes right from your phone wirelessly whenever you want, our Auto Tow programming, and our TrueFlex ethanol. This is where Core, Pro, and Apex come in. Your stage determines your hardware level and power output. Your suite determines your tuning features. Starting with our Core suite, this includes all of our standard tuning essentials. Core gets you Stage 1 tune, 87 through 93 octane, Auto Tow, PowerLink Mobile flashing, and disabled speed limiters. If you want major power gains with dramatically improved drivability while keeping everything streamlined and affordable, Core is the perfect place to start. Our Pro Suite adds more advanced tuning flexibility. This suite includes everything from Core, plus it adds our TrueFlex ethanol support and unlocks Stage 2, which means you can run Stage 1 Pro or Stage 2 Pro while unlocking far more customization and flexibility for ethanol. And lastly, our upcoming Apex tunes is where even more advanced racing features are going to be announced and where our Stage 3 big turbo upgrades will live. Mobile tuning is the foundation of adding power to your truck. But if you want to take things further or make sure you're always getting the most power your truck can make, let's get into some hardware. There's a lot of intercoolers on the market. There's only one like Xodus. This beast is over 40% larger than stock, which means it's going to work exceptionally well at fighting heat soak. Heat soak is what happens when the stock intercooler gets so hot it is no longer cooling down the air. As soon as heat soak happens, your engine and tune and transmission have to start pulling back power to keep it safe. By upgrading your intercooler, you're gonna make sure all the power is always at its highest peak for no matter what temperature you're in, especially when towing, when you need that power the most. There are a lot of intercooler options on the market, and there's a few things that make Xodus the best option for your truck. First being the 40% massive size of this is only part of the story. There are a lot of large intercoolers on the market, but an intercooler size is only good if you use all of it. Air is always going to take the simplest path of least resistance. That means as air is coming into the intake, it's only going to leave the back end on where it has to flow. So the larger the intercooler gets, sections of it may not even ever actually see hot air, which means it's not working to cool that down. To combat this intercooler includes our FDS design. FDS is our own flow distribution system that includes a set of precisely tuned fins cast into the intake side of the intake that forces air up and through the entire intercooler core. This dramatically increases the amount of surface area of the intercooler that cools down the heat, keeping your truck at the maximum amount of performance. Secondly, nothing is worse than getting into boosts and fun and then having a massive hose blow off and cause boost leaks. To make sure that never happens to you, our intercooler has our own grip lock connection, CNC machined right into the intercooler ends. This provides a mechanical lock for the boost hoses, so they're never gonna blow off, never leak, and never cause you like having to chase down boost leaks. Last thing to say about our intercooler is anybody can install this. It is very, very easy. It's a drop-in connection, no modifying, no cutting. It's a few bolts, transferring a couple of things over and putting your bumper back on and off. Yes, you can. A cold air intake is absolutely required for a Gen 2 Raptor on Stage 2. However, no matter what stage or truck you're running, this is a worthwhile upgrade. More boost is always going to require more air. And your factory airbox wasn't designed to deliver performance, it was designed to muffle sound. The Xodus intake has been designed from the ground up, engineered to never be an airflow restriction, and always make sure, no matter what performance you're at, your turbos and engine receive as much air as it needs to make the power. Part of that engineering design is a massive internal volume. To feed that internal volume, we've made sure it can pull fresh, clean air from the front of your truck without any restriction points, and a huge filter with a ton of surface area. With this much air coming through the filter surface area, it needs to be transitioned down to the inlet pipes cleanly. To do that with the least amount of friction possible, there's an integrated velocity stack, and every single pipe, including the inlets, have been designed to never be restriction on airflow and allow as much air to go through as possible while remaining a bolt-on install. You can do this with basic tools in no time at all. And as an added bonus, with this intake installed, you can actually hear the turbos working. If you've ever heard an EcoBoost engine with the turbo spooling with this intake installed, it is genuinely cool and crazy addictive. Speaking of sound, let's talk about our catback exhaust. All Xodus catbacks for all of our trucks include our drone trap design. Drone trap is our own technology that's specific to each engine and platform. It vibrates the sounds you don't want against each other, so only the sounds you do want come out the back end. What that really means is you're not going to get that EcoBoost tuba droney sound that these are known for. No more vacuum cleaner engines. These are not a fence post exhausts that have just been galvanized steel welded together. It is TIG welded from pure stainless steel to last a long time, and to make sure it stays stuck on your truck, all of our brackets are reinforced, double bracketed, and look absolutely amazing. Beyond power, Sound is one of the things that just makes your truck incredibly exciting to drive, and our catback and intake working together will make your EcoBoost sound like a real truck, unlike any other on the road. Our intake, intercooler, and catback exhaust is only the start of some of the hardware we have available for your trucks. We've brought that same level of engineering and breakthrough innovations to turbo flanges, phone mounts, and even our leveling kit. Check out everything for your truck on the website at driveexodus.com. To wrap all this up, here's the quick version. On an F-150, start with stage 1. That's your tune. If you're going to be towing heavy or want to always be in the highest power, add an intercooler and an intake to sound awesome. Similar for the stage 3 Raptor. Stage 1 tune unlocks a ton of power, makes your transmission feel awesome, brings everything together, adds a ton of features to make your every drive better. And again, you can add the intercooler and intake to make that experience even better. And lastly, with your Gen 2 Raptor, go with our core suite for that full stage 1 experience, or add an intake and intercooler in stage 2 for even more power and to unlock that true flex ethanol. If you're ready to turn your truck into your dream truck, everything you need to start your build is in the links below. If you have questions about any of our tuning or the parts I've covered in this video or how to start your own build, we have an entire support team of Xodus mod gurus. That's not just the line, we actually pick up the phone. If you want to start checking out any of these upgrades and building your own truck, head on over to driveexodus.com and stay tuned for our next video.